What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy CJ3, aka the Gym Slasher, back at it again. You could have been anywhere in the world. You chose to be here with me. This one I'm just gonna have a little fun with. It's just good to have some fun, just talk about some things. Told you I was gonna just bounce all over. Still in the athlete world, still in the training world, but Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. Again, hit the likes, hit the subscribe, man. Tune in, comment, do all that good stuff. Anthony Joshua, Jake Paul fight we seen over the weekend. It was interesting, at the very least, entertaining to an effect. What I took out of that boxing match was what I think most people believe was going to happen was Anthony Joshua, two-time undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, world-class fighter, was going to beat Jake Paul. I mean, just due to the sheer talent, professionalism, he's been in the sport. Boxing have a way of, these things you have to start at pretty much 9, 8 years old. And then when you started going against these world-class elite fighters, the talent and the understanding of the game becomes very immense. Jake Paul was looking to fight. Anthony Joshua was looking to box. You can see that in his telling. And on top of that, it's very difficult to Jake Paul. It's very difficult to want to go against Tank Davis, who's not a heavyweight, not even close to being a heavyweight, to then fighting a true, genuine, not only heavyweight, but in some classes you call him a super heavyweight, just because of his sheer size and strength and height and weight. Overall, as entertaining as it was, I think the main thing that I get out of that, and this is no shade to Jake Paul or anything like that at all. This is just in general, you can't cheat the game, and you can't just walk in and just think that you can just beat some of these guys that are highly trained, highly skilled. Jake Paul, for whatever's worth, I think that he is actually a pretty good boxer. I think he needs some work, 100%. I'm just on looking at it. If he takes it serious and really focus in and lock in on his weight class and then start honing in on his training, I think he can be somewhat of a good boxer, a good prize fighter in the boxing world. He has everything else in terms of marketability. He has that. People will pay millions upon millions of dollars to have sponsorships in his matches. People will pay thousands of dollars to be there for his matches. He have all of that. But at the same time, you're going to have to deliver. Fans can support until they go, you know what are you doing? Right. And right now you're on cloud nine. I mean, to be perfectly honest, Anthony Joshua, I think he earned one of his biggest purses that he's made in his career, in terms of the amount of matches, boxing matches he's had over the last 5, 10 years. It's one of his biggest purses. So Jake Paul know how to bring people in to come watch a fight. And you want to see a good fight, you want to see entertainment and stuff. He's done it with Tyson. He's done it with some UFC fighters and former retired boxers and all that, and mixed martial arts going into boxing and stuff. So I think at this point in time, I want to see Jake Paul actually get into a division and really hone in. And from what I'm hearing, it's cruiserweight that he wants to get into, which is the 200-pound, I believe 200-pound limit, 198, 200 pounds, somewhere around there limit. I think that would fit him very well in terms of the cruiserweight division in itself is not for whatever reason, it's just not a big glorified division in terms of entertainment. Light heavyweight is always entertaining. Heavyweight, welterweight, middleweight, super welterweight, lightweight, those always seem to draw a good crowds, but cruiserweight seems to just struggle. And so if I'm Jake Paul with that, if that is to be the case, they are going to move into that cruiserweight. It's there for the taking, to be in terms of entertainment and drawing in an audience to seeing fighters that are right there currently, that are champs or up and coming champs. and stuff like that for him to get in there. I think that'll be really good for him. Good, obviously good for the brand. He's going to bring in a lot of millions, but boxing is one of those sports you just can't cheat. You can't circumvent around. You will get exposed for playing boxing into that realm, and then you start going against real professional fighters. They're not with the play on that. You have to take that game serious. You have to be locked in, walking in. I mean, what end up happening with Jake Paul? He got a broken jaw. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks, and in boxing that does happen. It's not atypical. It's not abnormal, but it could have been worse for him. To be perfectly honest with you, that was a sanctioned fight. That record, Anthony Joshua's record, that win and that knockout do go on his official record. That loss does go on his official record. But fighting a guy like that in Anthony Joshua, who I believe he had 28 wins prior to that. He had 28 wins, 25 of them coming out by way of knockout. This is what he does. This ain't Tyson, where Tyson is beyond his prime. He still has some power, but he's beyond his prime. This guy's still in his prime. He's still looking for that one more go around in terms of a championship run. And you're going against that, and you're lucky that's all that happened. I was at one point just telling the ref to come in and stop this. In boxing, and I'm not going to go over thorough in boxing, but you kind of seen that this was going to be the beginning of the end. They were saying that, oh, he did a good job for lasting 5-6 rounds and stuff, but he ran, like legitimately ran, and he not only ran, he backpedaled. And in boxing, backpedaling like that, unless you are Muhammad Ali, was one of the very few in small pocket that can do that in a 15-round. Remember, Muhammad Ali was doing 15 rounds. The conditioning that it takes to stay on your back feet and backpedal and move, plant, jab and hit, and then backpedal some more. That's a lot of work, and it requires a lot of endurance. Jake Paul is not known from his endurance. All Anthony Joshua did in terms of I'm just talking about just boxing real quick, is just pressure him and kept him and started cutting off the ring, start forcing him in areas. And then the worst thing was that he kept trying to, obviously he was trying to grab, but he was trying to tackle or do some weird stuff, and he was slipping, he was falling. When you're a boxer, it's a lot to fall and come back. Even if it's not off of a punch, you're slipping and you're falling and getting up, then you're backpedaling again. He did that for almost 5-6 rounds till he basically gassed himself out. And once Joshua realized, once he lost a lot of his energy and that back and pedaling, then he just went in for the knockout. He went in for the proverbial kill, and in lack of better words, but he just went into that knockout phase, and it was over with. But I think the ref could have stopped it even before that, just because the amount of punishment that he was going to be enduring and that he did take. Those maybe a couple of one hits here and there, but those are devastating power. So I say this with Jake Paul in terms of protecting himself. All money ain't good money, my man. All money ain't good money. Protect yourself. Be smart. Get into that cruiserweight division, man. Stop with all these, exhibition glory, over glorified fights that just, they're money grabs, and people go and watch them. I'm guilty. I watched, I think he has something good going in terms of how to view boxing and as an entertainment aspect of it. So is not overly critical of him, but I think he can combine the two in terms of that boxing entertainment, that real circus-esque entertainment, and then the seriousness, the realness of it. I think he could combine those two and make some serious noise, make some serious money off of it, and be good and legitimately be good. That is a division that is primed for the taking for himself. If he locks into that for a couple of more years and then wants to jump out and to do something unique, I'm fine with it. But I think he's better suited in locking in and taking the game seriously. With that being said, I just wanted to have a little fun with that. And as our athletes and coaches and trainers and just seeing out how that works, I think he just got to work on that. I think he'll be all right. I think he'll be a good fighter. With that being said, appreciate you guys. Who are you? What is your mission? Appreciate the love. Peace.